Kylie Connors is suing Anna Williams in the amount of $465.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated.
Ms. Connors claims her tip money was chewed up by her roommate's unruly dog and says Ms. Williams needs to pay for the animal's bad behavior.
State your name.
Kylie Connors, Your Honor.
Ma'am?
Anna Williams.
All right, and you are suing your former roommate for $465, alleging she owes this money regarding damage done to your property?
Correct.
Start with you.
I am a bartender by trade. I lived with Anna Williams previously, and I usually take home cash tips at the end of every night. Her dog went after the duffel bag that I had my cash tips in.
You don't be nipping at work, do you?
Nipping, sir?
Yeah, take a nip. All right, fine. I'm trying to give you the benefit of just a nip. Do you drink at work? Do you get drunk at work?
I do drink at work sometimes, sir. I am a bartender.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. But go ahead. Please forgive me. Go right ahead.
We do get an amount of credit card tips, and then we get a chunk of cash tips that we take home at the end of every night.
Okay. Do you want to tell me about your friendship with the plaintiff?
Yeah, we met through a mutual friend back in March, and we were both looking for roommates, and they thought that we would be a good fit together. And, you know, for the first month...
You must not work at the bar.
No.
You got a very different presentation. How long after meeting each other did you decide to become roommates?
It was about like after the first month, and it was going great, but after a month of living together, there were a lot of issues with her being irresponsible, putting my dog in danger, leaving her stuff everywhere. And the first month, it was great.
She's just nasty.
At first she wasn't, and then starting the bar job, she got very lazy and irresponsible, was always dropping and throwing her stuff, leaving food out, which my dog...
Just from working at a bar? Or drinking at the same bar, using too much of her own product. That's what you sound like you're suggesting.
I just started noticing that she would come home late. I would wake up by her banging around the kitchen, slurring, being drunk.
Okay, that's what I'm asking you. You witness her being intoxicated?
Yes.
Regularly?
Very regularly.
Okay. Ma'am, you have an issue there you need addressing?
I think she might be exaggerating a little bit about the consistency of this happening, but I do...
How often do you say? You say what? Half the time she's drunk?
Yes.
More than half the time?
Especially when coming home from shift. She'll have gone out after work.
Are you drunk 50% of the time?
No, sir.
What percent?
I would say maybe a quarter of the time.
25% of the time you're drunk?
I have drank.
No, I was very clear. I'm asking you about drunk. And you heard what she said, half. And that's when I asked, are you drunk half the time? And your answer was no, 25%.
Correct.
So you need help. If 25% of your life is spent getting drunk, or when you are, 25% of your time is getting drunk, you need help. You need help.
And you have that rule, whatever they say, you multiply it.
That's a good point. That's what I did with you when y'all used to lie as kids, so you're absolutely right. And see, I knew what I was talking about when I saw your presentation. This isn't my first rodeo. You need help, you think? With your drinking problem?
Potentially I do need help. Okay,
good. And I'll let you discuss that with my staff. Tell me about the dog you're suing for. What happened with this dog?
The dog, in the beginning, there was no issue. Like when I moved in, I knew that she had a dog, and I love dogs. I've had many in my life. There was no prior knowledge that the dog would be so aggressive in a lot of ways. I was under the impression that it was a very mild-mannered animal. But
where did you get that impression?
From Anna.
How did she give you that impression? She told you that? Did she tell you?
Yeah, she told me. She would show me photos or videos of the dog.
Okay, well, that's not an impression. That's something she told you. She told me that the dog was fine.
Right. But shortly after living together, The dog urinated on a rug in my room, chewed up my shoes. It would constantly sniff around, trying to come after things that I had in my bag.
You had weed in there?
No, I do not smoke, sir.
Why is the dog going around sniffing your bag? Does the dog sniff your bag?
No, because I don't
sniff
have
your friends' bags? You the only bag the dog sniff. What you got in there?
When you work in a restaurant, sir, your bag, everything, your clothes, everything smells like food.
But you don't go no further than the bar.
Sorry?
You don't go any further than the bar.
Okay. Your Honor, respectfully, my bar is in a restaurant.
All right. The dog may have a tendency of what?
Of either chewing things apart, stealing food, anything like that.
Okay, so what happened to cause you to sue today?
I came home after a long shift one night. I get home around 3 a.m. I dropped my duffel bag where I usually do, next to the door, next to the front door, where the keys go and where we put our shoes. The dog had never attacked anything in my bag when the bag had been there prior.
How long had you been living there at this point?
I had been living there probably 4 months.
4 months, okay.
Correct.
Dog hadn't done anything in those 4 months. This instance, he did what? Or she?
The dog ripped apart, the bag was completely zipped. The dog ripped apart the entire bag and chewed up not only the food in the bag, but the money that was in the bag.
What type of dog was this?
She's a mutt, a rescue. So we're not really sure what.
Mutts mean they're mixed with a bunch of stuff.
Mixed with a lot of stuff.
Do you have any idea what type of mixtures? Does it resemble any dog more so, any dog breed more so than others? For example, is the face more similar to a German Shepherd, or is the face more similar to a Chihuahua?
More similar to like a yellow lab beagle kind of.
Okay.
I have a picture.
Yeah, let me see the picture.
Of
yes,
course.
Please. Because the question is, should you have had common sense enough to know that a dog that looks like this may be inclined to feel that they can go in and rip a bag up and get the food that's inside. And yes, this dog does look like that. He looks shady right now. He's looking at you shady. He's looking like he about to steal something or tear something apart any minute. Why you hand me this thing? This is incriminating. Your dog gonna be mad at you. You present him in an incriminating way. Go ahead. All right. So you found that to be the case, and so what did you do afterwards? You went to the defendant. You went to.
I did.
Ms. Williams?
I called because we have opposing schedules. I called her during the day while she was at work. I was very upset, and I expressed what had happened. I wanted her to pay me back because when you make tips working in a bar, that's the bulk of your income. And it would have gone into.
So the dog ate the money.
Correct. I mean, the dog ripped apart the money completely.
Or tore it up.
Correct. So it would have cut into me even paying our mutual bill. Yeah. And to be honest, Your Honor, a situation had happened prior where I left some chicken wings out that I should not have on the counter in the kitchen, which the dog did get after, and she did have to take the dog to the vet. But those chicken wings were right next to papers, anything that would have been seemingly attacked as well and chewed apart, and nothing happened at that time. So it just seemed kind of overly.
But you said you had food in this bag.
Right. But I'm saying that the money
The
was.
last time the dog went after it because he smelled chicken bones.
Right.
And ripped nothing else up.
Right.
This time he smelled food that you had laid on the floor again, already knowing that the dog goes after food when it's laying around.
Right.
You lay it on the floor and you create the opportunity for the dog to destroy your things, as the dog had done previously when you left food out.
Right. I'm just saying that it was unexpected because the money, the cash, was in a completely different compartment than the food.
Ma'am, I promise you the dog wasn't looking specifically for the cash.
Right.
The dog was ripping the bag apart until the dog found the food or could get to the food, and that it was collateral damage that your money was torn apart. But you asked her for how much, and what was her response?
I asked her for $465, which I do have evidence, the printout here, of exactly how much I made.
And what was her
and took home.
response?
Her response was absolutely not, that it was not her fault, what the dog had done, that I should have known better than to leave food in my bag that I left on the floor.
Let me hear from you.
Yeah, there is a lot that she's leaving out. I have never had any issues with my dog. She may look suspicious in this photo, but she is really sweet. And the only reason she is going after her bag at all was because of the food in the bag. And
she knows the dog tries to get the food any time he can.
Yeah, even the best trained dog isn't going to leave food alone that's within reach. And actually, I had an incident 1 month before this incident where she left a thing of chicken wings on the...
What do you have inside?
In the bag? $465
Okay,
cash.
so you don't want payment for him ripping the bag up.
No.
Okay, so if he had just ripped the bag up, you'd have understood because you knew you had done wrong.
Yes.
Well, you can't help it because it had money in it. As you just said, you would understand the dog breaking into the bag and destroying it to get to food. You would understand that. So now you have to understand that en route to breaking into that bag, getting the food, he also damaged that money. Damaged everything that was in there. What else was in there?
Clothes.
Yeah, you're not suing for the clothes. So that's almost suggesting that the bag and the clothes aren't important, and had the dog gone in to get the food and only damaged the bag and the clothes, it would be all right. If it's all right for one, it got to be right for the other. So it's all right for you, for the dog to have destroyed the bag. It has to be all right for you, for the dog to have also destroyed the money. The dog can't distinguish between what's valuable in that bag and what's not. The dog can't say, that's $50, $400. I ain't gonna mess with that. I'm gonna just get this sweater. This sweater only costs $50, so I'll destroy the sweater. But I'm gonna leave that $400 over there. And what else? This bag is only $60. Yeah, I'll destroy that too.
Lost wages.
Where does the dog usually roam around?
I normally keep her in my room. At night, she sleeps with me. And then during the day, I let her roam around the living room and in my room. I have her shut her door so that my dog cannot access that. Yeah, so I normally come home during my lunch breaks, and I will let my dog out to go to the bathroom and then head back to work. But she knows and has known that my dog will be in the living room and in my bedroom. And she stated that she was completely fine with it. The issue started happening when she would come home drunk and throw her things around the living room, leave out food, leave out items.
Okay, and you're suggesting this perhaps was one. This is an additional element you're bringing up, that she may have been intoxicated, as she frequently is.
Yes.
So in your good mind, perhaps you wouldn't have thrown it on the floor. But in an altered state of mind, you do that.
Yes, and I have text messages with her of me calling her out for constantly leaving her stuff. I would tell her to put it up.
See that, please, Amir? All right. Ma'am, I'm doing whatever I can to put a little liability on her. I was going to call this contributory negligence for her being negligent and keeping her dog in the wrong spots, and in this case it got out of the room. I would have said she contributed to that negligence because her dog got out of the room. But you know that her dog floated around everywhere. Can't find any liability on her yet. I've asked you 1,000,000 times not to leave things out for the dog. You are either drunk or have a memory problem. Please get yourself together. That true, ma'am? She told you 2 months before the incident. She's told you 1,000,000 times not to leave things out for the dog.
She has, Your Honor.
All right. Your claim is dismissed, ma'am. She warned you. You did it anyway. And it happened primarily when you were intoxicated, it appears, or you got a bad memory problem. They go together. If you have a drinking problem, that does affect the memory. So I'm going to dismiss your claim. You were warned. You did it anyway. The good news is we're going to get you some help. And so that $465 that you wanted is going to be like we're giving you $5,000 because that's what it cost us when we pay and sponsor for treatment. It'll be about $5,000 that the court will pay. So good luck to you in your treatment. I'm more interested in that, but I must dismiss this case. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
I hate that it had to.
The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding.
In just 15 years, ma'am. Let me know when you want to go to rehab. Otherwise, I think you're a crackhead.
Absolutely not.
My goal is to inspire others to overcome their obstacles. You don't need him and his little raggedy roommate.
Thank you.
All while having a little fun on Mathis Court. You look like you're ready to lie right the first word out your mouth. This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Carlos Hernandez is suing Tiffany Baker in the amount of $478.52.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated.
Mr. Hernandez claims his girlfriend falsely accused him of cheating and says Miss Baker broke his sunglasses when she pushed him in a fit of jealousy.
State your name.
My name is Carlos Hernandez.
Ma'am?
My name is Tiffany Baker.
All right. And, sir, you're suing the defendant for $478.52, alleging your ex-girlfriend broke your glasses?
Yes.
All right. Start with you.
She basically, met her a while back ago. We were dating. And she's just a very jealous type of person.
How so?
For example, when we would go out to dinner, she would just give me the eye. She would think I'm looking at a whole bunch of girls.
She ever caught you cheating?
No, never.
And then didn't catch you, huh?
Did not catch me.
Oh, okay.
I never did anything.
That wasn't what you said. That's the answer you should have given the first time.
No.
That was the answer you should have given the first time.
But no,
you said you'd never been caught. And how long have you all been together, or were you together?
We were together for 4 months.
How many?
4 months.
Oh, you want no girlfriend?
No, we're just dating.
I'm just dating, right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, ma'am, you give me some background on the dating.
Yes.
Where did you all meet?
We met at Redondo Beach, actually.
On the beach?
Yeah, we were just walking, and I actually saw him talking to a different girl before we started talking. He approached me after that, and then we just kind of hit it off.
What did he say?
He said.
Approached you under what pretense? What did he say?
He asked me how my day was going and just asked what I was doing at the beach, and then we ended up hanging out that day and hit it off pretty instantly. So we became exclusive after 2 months of dating.
So you thought?
Yeah, that's true.
But he said he didn't date anyone else, so
yeah.
He says you're right.
But in our first conversation even, he brought up how he was juggling 2 women in his previous relationship. So
in
I probably,
the past.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
probably should have taken that as a red flag, but I just
That should have been a good flag, saying that he wouldn't tell me this if he's still doing it.
That's a good point, yeah. Throughout the relationship, he would always be talking to his ex-girlfriend, Mariah,
Michelle,
whatever her name is, and she was giving him gifts constantly. She gave him a phone case, and then after we became exclusive, she gifted him this really expensive pair of sunglasses, the one that we're actually in court here for today.
How long did you all date, your ex-girlfriend? 20 years?
No. So she has been a childhood friend since forever, 10 years plus. And, we...
That's not childhood. You weren't no child 10 years ago.
Well, we've been friends for quite a long time, over 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so
how long did you date?
We dated maybe 5 months or so. But it was very brief. So, but, it didn't work out.
Did she give you gifts before you dated?
Yeah, because we've been friends for years, so,
What'd you give her?
I've gotten her perfumes, for example. One time.
Prior to dating?
Prior to dating, just as a friend.
Okay. How many female friends do you have?
How many female friends do I
sir.
have?
Yes, sir.
Good question. Good
I don't know,
question.
I guess close friends, maybe 5 or so.
Do you give them all gifts regularly?
No, I mean.
So why was it her?
I mean, again.
Do they give you gifts regularly, all these other 5 women?
I mean, if it's maybe something.
No, I'm not if. I'm asking you the facts. Not no if, not no speculating. Do these 5 other female friends give you gifts? And
Like
do
food?
you give
Yes.
those 5 other female friends gifts?
I mean, if it's,
No,
birthday
if.
or something.
Has it happened?
Yeah, I mean, we do.
You're right.
I think what he's trying to say is no.
You're a dog too.
He's trying to say no.
But I mean, if it's just like food or something.
Yeah, you're right. He's trying to say no. Right. And so that's the point that she and I just broke it down for you, but that's what she had in mind, sir. That you hadn't getting gifts from every woman that's just been a friend of yours. And a woman who you've only dated for 5 months is not going to start giving you gifts while you are dating someone. She didn't believe it, and neither do I. And that's why you're in trouble, and you got to sue her for whatever she did to you, because clearly she did something to you. So what happened?
Well, basically the day of the incident,
What incident?
The glasses that she.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is he talking about? He can't even tell me what happened.
On the day that he's talking about, he hadn't been answering my calls, my texts, and it was like 3 p.m. at this point, so I was honestly worried about him. So I showed up at his house unannounced. I knocked on the door, he opened the door, and there's the chain on the door, like he's hiding something. It seemed really sus to me. I was like, who are you hiding back there? Melissa? Mariah? Who's back there?
Michelle.
Okay. So he opens the door. I slightly walk past him to go see maybe if he's hiding a girl in his room or something. He stumbles over and falls on his couch because he's clumsy. He's always been clumsy. And he fell on his own glasses that he left on the couch and broke them. And I don't see how that makes me liable because I didn't know his glasses were on the couch.
Was there a woman there?
There was not, no. So I was wrong for that, yes, but I didn't break the glasses.
Sir, can you tell me what happened now?
Yeah, so I was just chilling at the apartment. I mean, she came out of nowhere because she tends to pop up to see if she could catch me in the act or so.
Mm-hmm. See if you can catch you getting one of those gifts from women.
So I open the door. I have the chain on, of course. But I always have the chain on.
You've never had
know.
the chain
It's for
on.
security, but I always have it.
Does he have a back door
No,
or back window?
no,
Side window?
no.
You don't have any window?
He lives in an apartment.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so I open the door. I mean, she's clearly upset. She's being very aggressive, yelling. I can see her peeking through the door, seeing if she sees anybody or anything in the apartment that is from a woman.
Any gifts?
Yeah, any gifts or anything like that. And so I try to calm her down. I open the door for her, and she aggressively just pushes in, barges in.
I did not push you.
You did. It was pretty aggressive. It was pretty hard. So obviously I wasn't expecting that. So I lost balance, fell over, and I went on top of my glasses. So after that, she just ransacked the whole place looking for somebody.
That's not true.
Things all over the place. And obviously she didn't find anything. We got into, after she had pushed me, maybe break the glasses, she said, good. You mean you shouldn't have taken the glasses anyway. And she had a smirk. She was like smiling. She was glad that happened, saying that I deserve for my glasses to be broken, karma, everything. So, we had a heated discussion. Basically just
She
broke
didn't
up with her.
apologize at all?
No, she didn't apologize. She was happy. She was happy that all that happened. She didn't
Because
care.
it came from the woman.
Yeah, from
Because there
my
was no
childhood
woman
friend.
there that day, so there was no reason to be angry once she came in.
Yeah.
But she was angry when she pushed in the door.
Yeah, she was very mad when I opened the door, and I thought, she could come in, we could have a,
Your Honor, can I say something?
Yeah.
a chill discussion.
So the reason for my anger that day was because he hadn't responded since the previous day, and we normally talked all day, and it was 3 p.m. So I was honestly I was jealous, but I was concerned as well. So
If you throw in 8 hours for work and 8 hours for sleep, that's 16 hours he's unavailable. So those 4 hours he may have been tending to chores and then his other women. I'm sorry, his other things he had to do.
Thank you.
The other things in life, his other obligations.
My duties.
No, but ma'am, he seems a very reserved guy. Sometimes people come across incohesive when they're somewhat of a reserved person. Don't have a smaller personality, if you will. Big personalities do. They're fluent and they talk a lot, etc. He doesn't give me that impression, but I was. That's why I had to delve further into your story and get more testimony out of you. I didn't get the impression that you're the type of guy that would fit the description that perhaps she has made, and certainly your temperament appeared to come across as a guy who is a decent guy as it relates to your anger, your response to anger. That's why I wanted to know what was said afterwards. How did you respond? What was exchanged? Then she jumped in to hurt herself by saying, well, no, I was mad. I was mad all day. I was mad all day, so that's why I came there. Yeah, I was angry. And then, yes, when you broke your glasses based on your allegation that she pushed the door in, it is reasonable. My job, when I don't have enough facts or evidence, is you have to listen to the testimony and make a decision based on who you believe is more likely than not to be telling the truth. And I believe it is more likely than not that you were angry, you pushed him out of anger, causing him to fall onto the couch and breaking his glasses. So this judgment for the plaintiff, $478.52. Have a good day.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $400, is suing Matt Jefferson, the amount of $415. Ms. Jefferson claims her brother borrowed her car without asking and says he is financially responsible for the 2 tickets he got while using it.
State your name.
Reese Jefferson.
Sir?
Matt Jefferson.
All right, and ma'am, you're suing your brother for $415, alleging he owes you this money for automobile tickets?
Yes.
Start with you.
He took my car without permission and came back with 2 tickets, and he's refusing to pay for it.
You want to speak?
Yes, Your Honor, I'm not paying those tickets because I'm not liable for them. She had the damage done to her passenger headlight before me getting into the car, and it's her registration.
What were the tickets for?
For the headlight, and as well as a expired registration on her car.
And you asked her if she could, if you could use it, and she said go ahead with the bad plates and the bad light?
No, I didn't ask this specific time because she was in the shower at the time. Okay. We use each other's car. I didn't think it would be a problem.
She didn't have it registered. She may have told you no that time. Ma'am, you give me some more information on this. You gave me 1 sentence, and I can't give you a judgment based on 1 sentence.
Yes, we do use each other's car here and there, and it's always been with permission. And so this specific time, the permission would have been denied.
Okay, why?
Because, like the tickets say, I did have an expired tag, and I did have a headlight busted out, so the car was not to be driven or moved at all, and it was not touched.
Okay, so you said you came out of the shower, and what happened?
When I came out of the shower, he came back, and that's when he told me that he took my car and that he came out of the store and there were 2 tickets.
You didn't ask permission?
No, not this specific time because she was in the shower, her door was locked, my phone was about to die. I had a very important business call I needed to attend to, so
A call?
Yes.
What did that have to do with the car?
Because my phone was about to die, so I needed a phone charger to charge my phone.
Okay, so you can go and sit in the car.
No, I was going to go purchase a new charger down the street, about 6 minutes away, not too far. And when I come outside to the car, after I got the charger for my cell phone, it was 2 tickets there.
Why couldn't you, what time, how long would it be for your call, your emergency call?
Probably like 15, 20 minutes.
All right, so how long did it take you to get the charger?
About 5.
All right, so the house was 5 minutes away?
Yeah.
Oh, you could have walked there.
Well, yeah, I could have walked, but it was, late at night. Didn't want to really walk.
Are you scared at night where you live?
Not too far from here.
I don't know what that means.
Los Angeles, I'm sorry.
What part of Los Angeles? Some parts of Los
South
Angeles
Central.
are more crime-ridden than others.
Well, South Central to be exact, like towards Crenshaw and Slauson.
Crenshaw and Slauson? Mm-hmm. All right. Most of the time there's no crime there. There is sometime. Maybe a little higher proportion than others because there's a little more poverty.
Yes.
And crime comes from poverty. And what did happen for you to get the tickets?
Nothing happened for me to get the tickets.
Okay, you weren't pulled over, sir?
No.
How did the tickets come about? You were in the store?
Yes, I was in the store. I came outside. There was 2 tickets on her windshield.
The fact is, sir, had you asked, she would have told you no, or she would have said, take your chance. My plates are expired. My light, you'll get a ticket if you stop for that. And so had you asked, but you took it without permission. So when a person takes something without permission, they are responsible for everything that comes thereafter. Had she given you permission, then you could have said, well, you gave me permission to drive it. And so since you gave me permission, you assumed the risk of what was going to happen. But she didn't give you the permission. So you took it without permission, and so you have to deal with the consequences of that. Anytime you take something without permission, you assume the risk for every single thing that might go wrong. All right? Good luck to you both.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $415.
Any worries for each other?
No, she'll get her money when she gets it.
Zelle, Cash App, cash, check.
However I can get it to you.
Penny Redgrave is suing Eli Peters in the amount of $818. Ms. Redgrave claims she was tricked into sending money to her online love interest for his EMT course and says once she gave him cash, she learned he was a fraud.
State your name.
Penny Redgrave.
Sir?
Eli Peters.
All right. And ma'am, you're suing the defendant for $818. Alleging you were catfished into sending him money. All right, let's start with you.
So, I've been catfished by this man over here. We met on a dating app, and I was amazed by his pictures. So we started talking. We also had a lot in common, looking at his profile, and yeah, we started texting for 6 to 7 months. And he was from Dallas, which is 4 hours away from Austin. This is why it was
Nobody was willing to drive 4 hours for 6 months. Why?
Because
I work like
7 days a week?
7 days. No, actually, I work like 6. I'm a security guard.
Why couldn't you drive there on the 7th?
I'd be busy. I'd be tired.
Because the 7th day is the Sabbath. Are you tired, so you got to rest
Sometimes
on
you got to give it back to God.
Jesus
you know, He
said.
gave me the job.
Right.
I want to give it back to God.
Tell me he had to rest like Jesus said
You
on
gotta
the
rest.
7th day.
there
The
was
7th
also
day
a
is the
red
Sabbath.
flag. I kept asking him.
And he didn't look like this?
Honestly, that's not the guy at all. That's another guy.
He looks worse?
Kind
So
of.
today giving a bad example of black
Judge,
Jesus on crack.
Basically,
well, tell me how it went down. You sending him money.
yeah. So, like I said,
6 months, y'all
were in a
texting back and
relationship.
forth.
We were definitely in a relationship.
relationship.
Yeah, we start talking about the future, kids, moving in together. So he
Moving
said,
in together?
Yeah.
Judge.
He did.
She
he did
wanted to
mention
move to
that.
San Fernando Valley, California.
No.
And that's where the $818 come from, the 818 area code. I didn't never ask her for any of this money.
He did
like
ask me $500
I wanted to
because
save
he wanted
lives.
to finish it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I wanted to be an EMT.
Sir, I have no idea what you're talking talking about? She has not told me when and why she sent you some money. Oh, you keep wanting to say,
I was trying to get to that.
What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry,
Something wrong
Judge.
with you?
No, sir.
Go ahead,
Listen,
ma'am. Tell
listen.
me what happened. How do you end up sending him some money? I haven't heard
He
that.
said we were going to move in together. We were going to have kids. But for that,
Provide for
he
you how?
needed to finish his EMT class, which was $500.
Oh.
So he asked me for the money. And I said, you know what? I have to look into my savings.
No.
So give me a minute.
Your Honor.
And he kept asking me for the money for 7 days straight.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. He come across, you see how he ran, whoa, man,
Your Honor, let me
like
tell
he
you
a
this,
big
sir.
fella. I know he wouldn't
Let
beg
me
you
tell
for
you this.
money.
I trusted
you
him,
this.
and I
you for
believed
money?
him.
Tell me what happened, sir.
So basically, I did tell her I wanted to save lives and be an EMT.
Good.
And so basically, she was like, well, if that's your dream, baby, I got you. You can check your Cash App right now. If that's all you need, I'll send it to
That's
you.
a lie.
And this is basically.
That's a lie.
Judge,
Okay.
I have no reason to lie. We were sworn in. I put my right hand to
sir.
God.
I got
And
you.
so I'm
Yeah,
telling
you were dry.
we
That's
got
what we call
evidence.
dry begging. I got it. You
I
tell her
didn't
what
know.
you got to do. I got it. In order to catch my MET, I got to have 500 or someone die. It's Mathis. He a woman hustler.
No.
You got
No,
any
sir.
evidence that
I
he
do.
agreed?
No.
I done seen this 1,000 times. Where you
No.
work, sir? You work?
I do work.
Where?
I'm a security guard.
Okay,
work a
and
lot
that's
of
and
long
you work
shifts.
7 days a week.
6.
6. And haven't been able to come up with $500.
No, I actually.
Work 6 days a week.
Actually, I've been going through some things. I've been taking care of some things at the house, paying for my rent, going through a lot of situations.
Everybody pay for their rent.
You know,
no?
the car.
Yeah.
You pay your rent?
My oil.
Anybody that
I
don't
had to
pay
get
their
an oil
rent,
change.
put your hand up.
He said
I
he
had
was
to
going
get
to
an
pay
oil
me
change.
back.
All
He
right,
never
nobody
did.
put their hand up. Everybody pays their rent. What's the rest of your sob story?
Well, a tire blew out is within these
Tire
months.
blew out.
You know, tires.
All right.
They always
So you
try
sound like a scrub.
Well,
you
either way,
sound
like
like
I
a
That's a
man that
catfish
has
right there.
nothing
That's a
and you
catfish.
use
Okay, so
women
either
all
way,
the
I
time.
didn't ask her for
I
the
believe
tire.
you, catfish. Get out of my courtroom. I'm talking and you keep interrupting. $818. Get your woman hustling self out of my courtroom. Find you another sucker. I hope they watch this and avoid you at all costs. Bye.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant has been ordered to pay $818.
Any last remarks for each other?
You know you're lying.
You're a catfish.
You
That's
spent
all I have
your.
to
I
say.
didn't never ask you for
No.
none of this money.
Had your day in court.
You did
Step
it
this
on
way.
yourself.
Step this way, please.
This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Tim Coryell is suing Roger Fortson in the amount of $320. Mr. Coryell claims he bought a basketball ticket upgrade for the defendant's son and says Mr. Fortson approved the purchase, so he needs to pay up.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may be seated. Both litigants have been sworn in.
Thank you, sir. State your name,
Yes, Tim Coryell.
sir.
And it's Roger Fortson.
All right, and sir, you're suing Mr. Fortson for $320 for reimbursement of an upgraded basketball ticket for the defendant's son. Is that correct?
That is correct, Your
Start
Honor.
with you. Give me some
Yes.
background. How do you know him, the kids?
Yes, sir. So we've known each other for many years. So I am the basketball coach and also high school teacher. I teach geometry where our boys go to school. So they are best friends. So
Good.
that's how we're connected.
Good.
So they're connected by the hip. They go to after school programs. They do their homeworks together. His son has actually been over to my house multiple times, staying
Good.
over. Same thing, vice versa. So we go way back. Again, I'm the basketball coach. My son, Paul, plays the point guard. His son plays the two guard. So they're pretty tight. So that's the background.
Good, good. And do you agree with what he said in terms of how he characterizes the relationship?
I would agree with, yeah, that's our relationship.
Okay, but
I
you
would say.
think your son plays better.
Well, I mean, that's true. Like,
That's a known fact.
that's a known fact.
He's slamming on. Well, when they at practice, they play against each other, right?
That's true.
And your son slams it down his son's throat, don't he?
That's true. I can't deny that.
Can't deny that. Amir was a good basketball player. He led his league in scoring and rebound.
I did.
And let me ask, sir, why are you suing? Because you all are jeopardizing a good relationship between the young men. You all might not get along, and fine, whatever the case might be, but their lives are more important. Their friendships are more important than you all's are. So let's see why we're suing over an amount that is jeopardized the relationship.
Yes, Your Honor. So I'm suing because I've done a lot of things with his son. So again, he comes over, we do a lot of different things, from going to restaurants to going to get ice cream to going to arcades and so forth. I've never asked for any money for that. Again, I'm the coach.
You don't charge?
I don't charge.
You got room for one more? you got room for one more in the car?
Look, I'm a high school teacher, so I don't make a lot of money. So that, yeah.
Well, I ain't seen no diploma yet, so I ain't seen no high school diploma yet, so he might still be eligible.
Right.
Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So, so I do all of these things for his son. Never asked for a dime. So we go to this game. It was a day of thing to surprise the boys. Again, they're both on the team. We go to the Warriors game because we're out of Oakland, so we live out there. So we have to go to San Francisco. We had the tickets. We're up there by the nosebleeds. So we're over in San Francisco. The Warriors, as you know, they used to play in Oakland. So the kids saw everything that was going on there. It was Fan Appreciation Day, so they got a chance to take pictures with Steph, with Clay, with Draymond, all of them, having a good time. Taking pictures with the cheerleaders and so forth. So they're having a great time. So they see some of the people from up the top moving down towards the bottom. So his son, Lance, asked, well, can we move down and get better seats? I said, well, you know what? I don't know about that. Let me check with your dad first. So with everything, I've checked with Roger to make sure everything's on the up and up.
But you had to pay for the to move down.
Yes.
How do you pay in the middle of the game? Now you're throwing me off there.
So this, again, fan appreciation.
You can go to the vacant seats like I do.
Right.
Once the people leave.
Yeah.
But we do that at the Final Four. That's what we do at the Final Four. You go to 4 games, Final Four, to check the college championships, and everybody doesn't come to all the games. Once their team loses, a lot of them go back home.
Yes.
And when they go back home, we go to their seats.
Well, we were able to do it. It was Fan Appreciation Day. This was well before the game started. So we were able to come in a little early. We were able to upgrade the seats. I informed them about it.
Upgrade by paying.
Yes, upgrade by paying. So I texted him. I let him know what was going on. He agreed to it. Everything seemed cool. So we just moved forward. Kids had a great time. The Warriors beat the Lakers.
Price went from
and that
what?
was it.
What was the original price?
$80 per ticket.
And then it went to what after you decided to upgrade?
Yep.
Coming up.
You sure? I got plenty of money. I wouldn't approve that for him.
Yeah, but
you couldn't take, you couldn't triple the money that you told me 8 times 3. That's quadruple. You couldn't quadruple the amount of money you told me for a ticket after you get there to the game.
I hear you, Your Honor, but
well, you don't need to ride with you because you wouldn't get your money from me either. Go ahead, sir. Let me hear from you.
So, Your Honor, I agreed to the original amount, which was $80. That's all I agreed to. He did text me when he was there saying they wanted to upgrade the tickets. He did not mention an amount at all. So I figured it'd be $40, $50 at most, so I agreed. And he upgraded. Next thing you know, he's getting at me for an additional $320.
Let me ask you, is your perception that he has a lot of means? He's got plenty money?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so that's your perception. You sitting pretty?
Not at all, Your Honor. No. I was going
through... What make you think he's sitting pretty?
Your Honor, I'm glad you asked. So I have evidence here that he's been showing some bling. He's got these watches that he's been showing on social media.
What type of watches?
Oh, and these are text messages that talking about the game itself. And
what type of watches?
So he's got all of these fancy watches that he's been showing on social media.
The reason why I posted those pictures, I was actually trying to sell those watches. I wasn't trying to show off or anything like that. I'm going through a messy divorce.
Does he know that?
He knows that, yeah.
Do you know that?
Yes, and that's part of the reason why, Your Honor, that I took his son to the game.
Go ahead. I'll let him finish. I just wanted to know, make sure you knew that.
I have a lot of legal bills. I'm trying to support myself and my son. I'm working 3 jobs at the moment just to try and make ends meet. So I was trying to sell those watches to just try and, support.
And the reason I ask, if you had the perception that he had plenty of money, because you might be in inclined, not legally, I don't know, but you might be inclined to assume he can pay. And once he said, okay, go ahead and pay a couple of extra dollars, you say to yourself, well, he has plenty of money. I don't have to ask him the exact amount. I'm sure he wants his son to go and says he has plenty of money now. But you just admitted, you know the man is going through a messy divorce. If you saw those watches on there, you know he wasn't flossing. You know, he looked like the flossing type. No, but now that he's going through some financial challenges, sir, you should have asked. Because you knew he was going through some challenges. You should have said, hey, man, it's going to be about a couple hundred more. So is that cool?
Well, Your Honor, I text him. He knows our kids play basketball. He knows the cost and all of that stuff. He's a basketball fan himself. He knows.
So what are you saying? You didn't text him the amount?
No. Well, we communicated. He knew about that. You didn't text him
the amount, saying I'm running up a couple of $100 more.
I did not text the amount, but he's aware that those things cost.
Let me remind you, sir.
Yes, sir.
And I'm not trying to floss either. I'm trying to make a good point. I got plenty of money. And right now, today, if you took him to a game with you and you told me the ticket was $80 and I gave you the 80 and you hit me back and said, well, we're going to go down to a lower level upgrade, so it's going to be a few more dollars. I would assume it's only $20 to $50. Because if you said to me, it's a couple $100, I say drop him off at the door. And y'all go down there. I mean, right now, just on the strength of what you've told me and what the expectation I have placed in my mind. If I want my son on a lower level, I know I'm gonna pay for it.
Well, he knows that I'm a high school coach. I'm a high school teacher. I'm not making that type of money. And again, I've paid for everything for his son. So this time around, I thought that it was cool that we could do this. And I can't believe that we're even here discussing this, because of the way he talked to me over the phone. He disrespected me.
What did he say?
Yeah, he started yelling at me because I said, look, I'm doing this for your son. I know the situation at home, so I'm just trying to make things better for him and trying to expose him to different things. He's a basketball player. That's their favorite team. They love the Warriors. They're big fans of Steph and Clay. So we wanted to give them that experience.
But you knew the man was going through a divorce. $320 is dismissed, sir. He had no reason to believe that it would be that high of an amount, and you didn't get that approval in that high of amount. And knowing that this man was in financial distress at this time, you should have asked, hey, man, can you afford this? I know you got tough times. Can you afford me running it up $200 more? Claim dismissed. Good luck to you.
All rise.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has...
This is Mathis Court with Judge Mathis.
Margaret Silva is suing Rebecca Silva in the amount of $19,500. Miss Silva claims she gave her daughter money to put toward a new home and says the defendant deceived her, so she wants every penny back.
All right. And, ma'am, you're suing your daughter for $19,500, alleging she lied about her lifestyle to get a down payment on a house?
Yes, that's correct.
Start with you.
Okay.
Can you give me some background on your daughter and her growing up, what type of child she was?
Well, overall, she was a really good child. She was really good when, she was full of love and happy, and she just was a beautiful child.
Was she an obedient child?
No, she wasn't always.
That's kind of more like what people want to know.
No, she wasn't always obedient.
Yeah, okay,
no, she always did have.
I'm happy, I'm smiling. Yeah, it's because they're getting high. That may be what you were saying. I'm asking about maybe the obedient factor. That's the issue.
No, she always had a little rebelliousness. She wanted to do things her way. There was a point when she was a teenager that she didn't want to go to school anymore.
There you go. Give me some background on yourself, young lady. You heard what your mom said.
I had a bit of a plan for myself, and it was a little different from the one that my mother created for me. I had always thought about maybe joining the military, and that's what I ended up doing. And
well, Your Honor, it it's that I've cared about her safety, and I didn't want her to be in unsafe situations. So I was worried.
You're more safe in the military than you are in most inner cities.
I know, but...
And in this country, period. Go ahead, ma'am.
My mother had an expectation for me to join the education field and be a teacher, and I didn't feel like with the war beginning, I should be in a classroom of fifth graders, that I should continue to do what I was born to do.
Coming up.
So I was to move in with her into her house. Eventually, when my husband passed away, up correctly, some of the money had to go into probate. So I didn't want her to deal with that.
Was this a gift or a down payment on a home that you all would jointly own, or she would own outright?
She would own it outright, so she wouldn't have to go through the same stuff that I went through.
So the $19,500 was a gift?
It was not a gift. It was an agreement.
Investment?
It was an agreement. Yes, it was an investment in the fact that...
Okay, and what portion were you to own with your investment?
It would be where I would live later on in life.
If it's an investment, that's different from a gift. What was your understanding? Was your understanding it was a gift or an investment?
My understanding was that it was a gift, and that with this house, it would be the space where I would use to grow and raise a family and start my life. But this understanding was that once some time had passed and she needed to live somewhere where she couldn't be alone, that she would come live in this home with me.
Can I give him this? Let him look at...
Can she give this to me? No, I don't want it.
Okay.
What are we here for today, then? Why does she want her money back?
She believes that we were under the understanding that I was going to have a family in this home, and she would like that to be with a man.
Mathis.
And I have started this home with my partner, Danny, who is a woman, and I am in a relationship.
That's what this is. It's a homophobic lawsuit.
Yes, sir.
Got it. Okay. Your mom's a homophobe.
Yes, sir.
She wanted to change the terms of the gift because she didn't like the partner you chose. Did you tell her, Mom, we could adopt kids, or Mom, we can do insemination? There's a different way to have a family now, and that the only reason you don't like me is because you don't like same-sex relationships, but you'll still get your kids, Mom, if that's what you're so consumed with. I see what it is. Thank you for letting me know the real deal. This was so confusing until you let me know. It was a gift, ma'am, and you can't take a gift back. Have a good day. Claim dismissed.
Judge Mathis has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been dismissed.
Mom, I hope you can come to an understanding that my life choices, my lifestyle choices are what make me happy. And even though they're a part of a society you might not agree with, I hope that eventually we can come to good terms and not be in this situation again.
I love you, and I'm sorry that we had to come here.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম ওয়া রাহমাতুল্লাহি ওয়া বারাকাতুহু। সুপ্রিয় দর্শক মণ্ডলী, রাতে জানালার পাশে দাঁড়িয়ে ইয়া বাসিতু 41 বার এভাবে পড়ুন, রাতারাতি গায়েবী ধন সম্পদ পেয়ে যাবেন। ফেরেশতারা এসে টাকা দিয়ে যাবে, আর আপনি খুব দ্রুতই ধনী হয়ে যাবেন। আপনার দারিদ্রতা থাকলে দূর হয়ে যাবে, আপনি কোটি টাকার মালিক হয়ে যাবেন রাতারাতি। তো বন্ধুরা, আমরা সবাই কিন্তু ধনী হতে চাই। আমাদের সবারই ধন সম্পদ বৃদ্ধি করতে ইচ্ছে করে। আমাদের সবার ইচ্ছে করে অধিক ধন সম্পত্তির মালিক হতে। আবার আমাদের মধ্যে অনেকে আছে যারা বেকার, চাকরি নেই, সংসারে অভাব লেগেই আছে। তারাও চাই তাদের সংসারের অভাব দূর হোক, হাতে টাকা পয়সা আসুক, রিজিকের ব্যবস্থা হোক, তাদের সচ্ছলতা ফিরে আসুক। আমাদের যাদের ধন সম্পদ টাকা পয়সার অভাব রয়েছে, প্রত্যেকের কামনা শুধু একটাই থাকে, কোনোভাবে অভাব দূর হোক, ধন সম্পদ বৃদ্ধি পাক। তাই আজকের এই ভিডিওতে আপনাদেরকে যে আমলের কথা আমরা আপনাদের বলবো, যা করলে গায়েবীভাবে ধন সম্পদ আপনাদের কাছে আসবে ইনশাআল্লাহ। এই শব্দটি আপনাকে রাতে জানালার পাশে দাঁড়িয়ে করতে হবে। এই আমলটি করলে এমনভাবে সম্পদ আসবে যা আপনি কখনো কল্পনাও করতে পারবেন না। তাই দয়া করে আমলটি সম্পর্কে সম্পূর্ণভাবে জানতে ভিডিওটি অবশ্যই শেষ পর্যন্ত দেখতে থাকুন। কেননা আপনি যদি ভিডিওটি শেষ পর্যন্ত না দেখেন, তাহলে বিস্তারিত কিছুই জানতে পারবেন না এবং এই আমলটি সম্পর্কে কিছুই বুঝতে পারবেন না। তাই ভিডিওটি অবশ্যই শেষ পর্যন্ত দেখতে থাকুন। আর আপনি যদি এই চ্যানেলের একজন নতুন দর্শক হয়ে থাকেন, তাহলে চ্যানেলটিকে সাবস্ক্রাইব করে পাশে থাকবেন। আর এই ভিডিওটি বেশি বেশি করে আপনার আত্মীয় স্বজন ও বন্ধুবান্ধবের কাছে শেয়ার করে দিন, যাতে তারাও এই আমলটি সম্পর্কে জানতে পারে এবং আমলটি করে গায়েবী ধন সম্পদ বৃদ্ধি করতে পারে। আর ভিডিও শেষে আপনাদের জন্য সুন্দর একটি দোয়ার আয়োজন করা হয়েছে। সকলে দোয়ায় অংশগ্রহণ করবেন, এতে আপনাদের অনেক ফায়দা হবে ইনশাআল্লাহ। সুপ্রিয় দর্শক মণ্ডলী, আল্লাহর কাছে কিছু কামনা করলে